and I am a lot hotter than I thought it was gonna be. Good morning and morning. In the news this morning, it's Monday. We're just gonna do a little coffee chat, a little nutrition chat, a little update, a little physique update, little pro, that doesn't make any sense, a little week outlook and focus. Yes. Thank you guys for coming back and visiting my channel. And if this is your first time here, my name is Christine Cohen. I'm a registered dietitian and fitness specialist in New York City, and I speak a lot about mental health and nutrition and fitness and how they affect each other. I also make videos, and today I am reporting to you, not live, from my apartment down in somewhere in Manhattan. So, physique update. Today I weighed in at 134.4, but that was after I had a full cup of coffee, like almost a full bottle of water, and breakfast. So I did fail on weighing in before I eat anything, and I also worked out. So last week, Friday, Saturday, I weighed in at about 133.4 in the morning. So it's probably still something around then. I have noticed that I feel like I'm holding on to more body fat. I don't see my muscle definition as much in my upper body, in my arms, and in my abs. And I am lighter than I have been in a while. So I'm curious if I'm losing muscle. Usually, if you are maintaining your weight, but you're getting tighter and more toned, it seems, and your definition is better. I'm eating about 1,600 calories, more, pretty much that, or a little more, with about 120 grams of protein, somewhere between 60 and 120 grams of carbs, and somewhere between 80 and 120 grams of fat. So maybe I'm just a little bit too all over the place. I wanted to keep the idea of a higher fat diet, but incorporate more carbs, especially on my workout days. But maybe I'm eating a little bit too much. I'm not really sure. So I don't want to talk about this topic for too long because it's not super interesting. But my plan is to cut my calories down by about 100 calories this week and just manipulate the percentages of my macros a little bit, leave my protein where it is, and maybe increase my carbs a little bit and decrease my fat. I had my best results earlier this year when I went higher carb, moderate protein, moderate fat. So I'm gonna go back to that. It feels weird because I don't even want carbs during the day. Like, I just want vegetables, I just want good tasting proteins, and when I do want carbs, it's like oatmeal with almonds and cacao chocolate in it and like random stuff like that, and ice cream. So we'll see. So what I'm doing right now is planning out my week. I am taking full advantage of my planner. I actually used it last week. Yay. And it really helped me stay on top of my stuff. So this is my last week, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna write out all the things I wanna get done this week and then prioritize them and then write them in each day, what I'm going to accomplish. Mostly business stuff, but obviously there's gonna be some social stuff in there, video stuff, and YouTube stuff, as well as video creation stuff, as well as contacting some new companies about creating some video content for them. So it should be a great week. It's going to be a busy one. It sort of feels like I'm already halfway. I'm experiencing one of those things where it's 11 in the morning on Monday and I feel like the entire week has gone by. I lost the entire day, and now I have 0 hours to work and get shit done. So there's a quote that I came across on Instagram and I screenshotted it, and I'm gonna read it to you because it is something that I'm gonna write down and make my focus for this week. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you if you allow it. So I think this is something we can all relate to. For me personally, what I give power to has power over me. Physically, mentally, how I am viewing things, what my perspective is. Example, I get really anxious when I don't get enough sleep. When I don't get 7 or 8 hours of good quality sleep where I feel rested in the morning, I still do this a little bit now, but it's better. I used to convince myself that I needed so much sleep during the day. Like, I used to be afraid that I would be so tired and so fatigued during the day that I wouldn't be able to get through the day without a nap. So, I would do some work, I would get things done, and then I would feel myself getting so exhausted and so tired and just like did not want to be around anyone. I just wanted to be home and close to my bed so that if I needed to sleep, I could just sleep. And if I needed to sleep for an hour, 2 hours, I would allow myself to do it. Then I would wake up and I would feel a little bit rested, but I would feel guilty that I slept for that long, and then I would feel upset with myself that I didn't do a lot of the things that I knew I should have been doing and wanted to do, but just convinced myself I didn't have the energy to do. And then I would, do what I had to do later in the day, train clients and whatnot, and then come home and tell myself that it's after 8 o'clock, like I can't get anything done because I am a morning person and I want to be in bed, asleep by 9, so I had better get that done, otherwise tomorrow's going to be the same story. And I know exactly where that stems from. It stems from a previous story, it's a previous experience where I was not allowing myself to get enough sleep, where I was overworking myself, and I was burned out, so therefore I did really need to catch up on sleep and probably could have used really long naps during the day. And so I fear that because that was something that triggered my depression, that was a part of that period of my life, and I don't want to go back to it. So I always want to make sure I get enough sleep. But ultimately, there are plenty of times where I don't get enough sleep and I do so much the next day and I feel still energized, I feel great. I may be a little bit tired just from physically, but I'm not mentally tired. I'm not like mentally fatigued, which is the ultimate thing that I experience. And there are key things that happen in those days that keep me alert and awake. I work out, I socialize, I do something that's like enjoyable, but mostly it's things, they just take me out of my headspace. If I am in my head, forget about it. I can take myself places that are scary and dangerous and aren't helpful for anyone. So what I give power to is going to have power over me. So if I give power to this story that I'm tired, that I'm fatigued, that I need a nap during the day, that I can't do or see or talk to anyone because I need to make sure I get enough rest and enough sleep, then that will be the truth. Then I will always feel fatigued, I'll always feel tired, and I've gone months of doing this to myself. And I realized it's just my perspective. Obviously, it would not be a good thing if I ran on 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep for an entire week because I would feel like crap and I would be tired. But I do a pretty good job of getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I do a pretty good job of waking up rested and not doing anything crazy that's, going to compromise me feeling energized and focused and motivated the next day. I just love feeling this way, so I don't want to compromise it. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily have to feed that fear. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you feel like you are telling yourself a story, or you feel like things are they just happen to you over and over and over again, you have no control about them, see if you can remove yourself from that thought pattern, from that assumption about yourself. Like people who tell me I get sick all the time. See if you can remove yourself from that assumption about yourself. And sometimes I just say different words. I just say, I'm energetic, I am well rested, I feel awesome, instead of just saying, wow, I'm really tired. Because I feel like the more you say the words, the more you feel them. Same thing with depression. I used to think to myself like, wow, I'm depressed. Like, I'm a depressed person. I have depression. I have anxiety. I am anxious. I am overwhelmed. And just saying those words are like an incantation to continue the thought of, I am this. This is me. I have this. It's something I struggle with. Instead of saying the opposite. Instead of saying what I want to be, which is full of life and passionate and creative and excited and driven and ambitious and motivated and full of energy, and just, you know, instead of getting anxious about things, I break them down into little pieces, and this is what I do. This is me. So I practice that often, still to this day, because sometimes I have weaker days and sometimes I have stronger days, but I want to get stronger and stronger. So that's my little message for this week. I'm gonna read it again. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you if you allow it. So take from that what you will. I hope you find some value in it. And that's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for continuing to watch my crazy Vlogtober series. I'm having a lot of fun still making it. There's some really good videos coming out this week. Very exciting stuff about alcohol and exercise, more stuff about depression and nutrition, how to train your back, because I used to have a really tough time engaging my back muscles. So I'd like to talk about that, maybe give you guys some tips. And yeah, just some other great stuff. So stay tuned, hit subscribe down at the bottom in the description box, the red button that says subscribe. Hit it and then you'll get my updates in your YouTube newsfeed every time I upload a new video. So like this video and comment below and, you know, do the whole shebang. I have an idea. Comment below with a story that you tell yourself that is not serving you, and then rewrite that story in the same comment. Rewrite the story of how you would like it to be, how you would like that story to be told. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. And that's all. So have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.